I'm not retired yet, my friend. No, no. They can say whatever they want, but it's not that easy. One fight, don't put in that position. You need to do a lot of things.
Canelo Alvarez thinks you're not a 54 pounder. In other words, you say, nah, he's too small.
That's his take. There's a reason why Israel was so respectful in the fight. Anytime I let my hands go, he would grab me.
Terence Crawford has never been one to hold his tongue, and his latest remarks about Canelo Alvarez are proof of that. In response to being placed on the undercard of Canelo's upcoming fight, Crawford didn't hesitate to speak his mind.
I know Canelo is great. We all know he's big. We all know he's strong. He got good timing. He got good punching power. He moves his head well. He's a good counter puncher. We all know all that things about Canelo, but we never seen Terence Crawford at 168. So we don't know. We don't know if Terence Crawford can take his punch power. We don't know if Canelo is going to be able to box, 12.
Pointing out what he sees as a clear decline in Canelo's stature within the sport. His candid comments come at a pivotal moment, adding fuel to the growing tension between the two champions. As this situation unfolds in real time, it's a telling sign of the shifting power dynamics in boxing.
It could happen. Why not? If Crawford want to challenge himself to be great, let him try to be great. So I'm with it. So I'll be going for Bud. If he fight Canelo, I'll be going for him. I don't know if he gonna win or lose, but I definitely be going for Crawford. I think if anybody can pull it off, he.
And Crawford isn't backing down. Here's how it's playing out. Terence Crawford's much-anticipated rematch was reportedly set for the undercard of Canelo Alvarez's next bout. That move left fans stunned and frustrated. Why would one of boxing's top pound-for-pound fighters, fresh off a dominant win over Spence, be relegated to a supporting slot?
Versus Canelo, based on last fight, is a 50-50. So Canelo fights an undisputed champ, up-and-coming former champion, and an up-and-coming undefeated contender. And somehow those three last opponents are somehow compared to Bud's Madrimov fight, making it a 50-50 fight?
The reasoning, it seems, comes down to business. While Canelo's name still carries weight, his recent pay-per-view numbers and ticket sales have been underwhelming.
Do I want to see knockouts? I'm from a different time in this sport when fighters went to war in the ring. We wanted to destroy our opponents. I still took the Pacquiao fight knowing my body was broken and old and I couldn't beat him. But I was a warrior. I wanted to be a legend. It's a different mentality, a champion's mentality. Canelo wants to get paid. He avoids Benavidez and Bivol, who schooled him just like Mayweather. He wants to cruise easily into retirement.
Now, adding insult to injury, Crawford versus Spence Jr., a fight that should be a main event in its own right, is being overshadowed, tucked beneath a fading spotlight that once belonged to Canelo. It's a clear sign that the boxing landscape is shifting.
I feel I got the speed over Canelo. I got the reach over him. He might got the size, the power. I got the better skills, boxing skills.
Would it be more of a cat and mouse? The reality is Canelo does put people out, from Kirkland to Amir Khan to just...
Don't do
obviously,
I'm just saying, man.
No, but he's not. Kovalev.
Kovalev was older. And he does. Don't get me wrong. He does have a lot of power. But all those guys that you name is not as skillful as me. I'm sorry.
And not everyone is handling it gracefully. Crawford, never one to stay silent in the face of disrespect, didn't hold back. His comments aimed at Canelo weren't just personal jabs, they were a bold declaration that the sport has evolved. In Crawford's eyes, it's him asterisk, not Canelo, who currently defines greatness in the ring. After dismantling Errol Spence Jr. in a career-defining performance, Crawford firmly established himself as the true king of the welterweight division and one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. Despite being one of the most dominant fighters in the sport today, Terence "Bud" Crawford finds himself placed on the undercard, an almost unthinkable position for a man who dismantled Errol Spence Jr. in one of the most decisive performances in recent boxing memory. Forced to share the spot.
Want to fight Canelo? Would you ever entertain a fight with Benavidez?
Benavidez is a big dude. Not to say I won't fight him, but the only reason why I entertain Canelo is because he's not a big dude. He might be thick, you know what I mean, but he's not a big dude. Benavidez is like 6 foot something, come in 190, 200 probably, you know what I mean? Might as well go to heavyweight if I fight Benavidez.
Spotlight with Canelo Alvarez, a fighter whose recent performances have raised eyebrows. Crawford didn't stay quiet. His sharp remark about ticket sales being dead wasn't just a shot across the bow, it was a brutally honest reflection of a changing reality in the sport.
Got to fight the best in the division. I'm #1 in the division, #1 contender. The second one is David Morrell. He's not fighting me, nor he's not fighting David Morrell. So it makes no sense. How is he going to call himself the champion and have all these belts if he doesn't fight the #1 or the #2 guys? Guys asking $200 million. Why, when they bring...
Canelo's name still carries weight, but the once irresistible draw has lost some of its luster. His last few outings, particularly against Gennady Golovkin and Dmitry Bivol, failed to deliver the excitement or box office impact.
Canelo, hell of a fighter, but my personal opinion, he's ducking Benavidez. You know, that's just my personal opinion, and I'm allowed to speak my mind. That's what it is. He's going up. He's going up to cruiserweight, and I'm not knocking him, but he's going up to cruiserweight. And that same guy with that, he used to be at the Mayweather boxing gym. The guys really getting the best of me.
Expected from a fighter of his caliber. The third Golovkin fight felt flat, and the loss to Bivol exposed vulnerabilities that many had previously overlooked. The numbers don't lie. Fans simply aren't tuning in the way they used to, and arenas aren't packing out in quite the same way. Crawford's critique wasn't just brash. It echoed what many in the boxing world had been whispering for some time.
Anytime Canelo faced an elite boxer, he arguably lost.
Hey,
Danny Jacobs?
Arguably doesn't matter.
Danny Jacobs is not elite.
What?
Stop.
What?
Stop.
This dude is funny.
Stop.
He needs to Google the scorecards on the Triple G fight.
Canelo's star power isn't what it used to be. For Crawford, being relegated to a supporting role on a card headlined by a fighter whose form has wavered was more than a professional slight.
Generational fight, you know, that will be talked about for years.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm gone, they'll talk about, man, you remember Crawford coming up to 168 and fighting Canelo, you know, 2 top 5 pound-for-pound fighters in the world, and they prime, fighting each other. Like, man, that's...
Yeah, but I also feel, Terence, that Canelo's just in a different place, man. I think he...
It was a symbolic moment in the sport's ongoing power shift. This isn't just about promotional politics or pay-per-view numbers. This is about legacy. It's about who the face of boxing is right now, and Crawford believes he's earned that title. He's not wrong either.
I don't like the fight because Terence Crawford is a good fighter, but in the sport of boxing, it has divisions. You know what I mean? You know?
Right, weight classes.
You know what? Yeah, weight classes.
For a reason.
Weight classes for, yeah. And Terence Crawford is a good fighter in super lightweight, welterweight, super welterweight, but I think more. I remember when Terence Crawford fought.
After his dominant performance against Spence, a fight many expected to be evenly matched, Crawford didn't just win, he sent shockwaves through the sport. That victory didn't just crown him as the king of the welterweights. It solidified his case as the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
I think he can outbox Canelo. It depends on what kind of Canelo rocks up, and Canelo is very, very experienced. But at the same time, he's had a lot of fights, which means that, you know, there is a time that you do go downhill as well. So I don't know.
Meanwhile, Canelo's own decisions have only added fuel to the fire. After the Bivol loss, many expected him to seek redemption and pursue a rematch at light heavyweight.
No Triple G on Bud's resume. There's no Trout on Bud's resume. There's no Daniel Jacobs on Bud's resume. Canelo is the one that's fought the elite level opposition. It's Canelo that fought Laura. There is no Laura on Bud's resume. There is no Laura on Bud's resume. Bud has never faced a multiple division champ. Bud has never faced a multiple division champ.
Yeah, but Bud is an elite boxer.
So you're an elite boxer, but you haven't.
Instead, he remained at super middleweight, drawing criticism for playing it safe. His title defenses, while still technically impressive, have felt more like business moves than legacy-defining challenges. Fans have long hoped for a showdown between Canelo and Crawford, a true generational clash. But that fight has remained elusive.
Talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost. You know, so let's not.
And Canelo's seeming reluctance to engage has only amplified the perception that he's dodging high-risk, high-reward matchups. What's unfolding isn't just a disagreement between two champions, it's a clash